Asbestos is a group of minerals that occur naturally in the environment and can be mined. The extraction and use of asbestos dates back to ancient Egypt. Typically, asbestos is found in these rock types: serpentines, some mafic rocks, which have higher amounts of heavier elements, altered ultramafic rock, metamorphosed dolostones, metamorphosed iron formations, alkalic intrusions, and carbonatites. Varying amounts of asbestos can be found in these rocks. When rocks are broken or crushed, the asbestos can be extracted. The mining process that was used in the United States involved open pit extraction and then milling. In a period extending from the late 1960s to the early 1970s, asbestos mining peaked in the United States with over 299 million pounds mined each year. By 1987, production has diminished to 112 million pounds annually. In 1989, when the Environmental Protection Agency ban on most asbestos use was passed, 13.2 million pounds were mined. Asbestos is found across the globe, including the United States, South Africa, Canada, and areas in the former Soviet Union. Asbestos is found in 20 of the United States and has been mined in 17 of these states, including the Appalachian region, California, and Oregon. At this point, chrysotile is the most commonly mined and most commonly used form of asbestos. It is mined in Quebec, British Columbia, Russia, Italy, America, Greece, and Cyprus. In the year 2005, Russia produced 40% of the asbestos produced in the world, with China and Kazakhstan also producing significant amounts. Tremolite asbestos is mined in small amounts in India. Asbestos use continues in developing countries, especially those like India and China, where a great deal of growth is occurring. An advocacy organization called the International Ban Asbestos Secretariat is working to pass bans on asbestos in more countries across the globe. Asbestos can also be found in demolition sites. For example, a great deal of asbestos was released into the atmosphere on September 11, 2001, when the World Trade Centers collapsed. Asbestos was used in the construction over the North Tower. When this tower fell, asbestos particles became airborne and were inhaled and ingested by rescue, recovery, and cleanup workers. Based on this exposure, these individuals are advised to closely monitor their respiratory health for signs and symptoms of any conditions associated with asbestos exposure. One of the largest and oldest vermiculite mines associated with asbestos was the W.R. Grace mine in Libby, Montana. Vermiculite, a common mineral, was mined here until it was discovered that it was contaminated with asbestos. The mine's operations were shut down in 1990. However, the impact of this asbestos-laced vermiculite was felt for many more years. The vermiculite was processed at a site in Salt Lake City, Utah, and it was not until 2004 that this site was officially cleaned up to remove all asbestos. Vermiculite is still mined in South Carolina, Virginia, and South Africa. The Environmental Protection Agency has issued guidelines to minimize the risks of using vermiculite. Asbestos can also be found naturally in soil and rock. For example, El Dorado County, California, and Fairfax County, Virginia, have been found to contain a significant amount of asbestos in their soils. Individuals can be exposed to asbestos in the natural environment during activities such as gardening, shoveling dirt, or riding bikes or traveling on unpaved surfaces. Those who worked in asbestos mines or live in areas where asbestos naturally occurs came into contact with asbestos in the natural environment. However, most people were exposed to asbestos in the man-made environment, as it was used in industrial and construction processes and in thousands of products. Industries that involve exposure to asbestos include mining, chemical plants, oil refineries, power plants, shipyards, aluminum plants, and steel mills. Teachers, weavers, building inspectors, and crane operators may have also come in contact with asbestos through work. Because asbestos was also used as a building material for many years, those who lived, worked, or went to school in buildings with asbestos content may have also been exposed to it. Asbestos was also used to make many commonly used products. One study found that it was used in over 3,000 products. These include fireproofing substances, roofing materials, siding, bricks, emergency generators, insulation, including sprayed insulation, vinyl flooring, drywall materials, cement panels, piping, talc-based products such as baby powder, wire insulation, fertilizers containing vermiculite, and certain textiles. Small appliances, including toasters, coffee pots, and hair dryers, also contained asbestos for many years. Understanding where asbestos is found is important in avoiding contact and assessing one's risk. It can take anywhere from 15 to 50 years after exposure occurs for symptoms to begin surfacing and for health to be impacted. Those who were exposed to asbestos are advised to monitor their health for signs and symptoms of the conditions most commonly associated with asbestos exposure, which include mesothelioma, lung cancer, asbestosis, and pleural effusions. Some common symptoms to respiratory conditions include shortness of breath, coughing up blood, fatigue, and weight loss. One of the most severe risks of asbestos is malignant mesothelioma, a rare form of cancer that grows on the mesothelium, a membrane that covers many of the body's internal organs, including the lungs and heart. There are 4 main types of mesothelioma, depending on the primary site of the tumor: pleural mesothelioma, peritoneal mesothelioma, pericardial mesothelioma, and tunica vaginalis mesothelioma. The disease can be treated with chemotherapy, surgery, radiation, and experimental therapy such as immunotherapy. These treatments may slow the progress of the disease and reduce symptoms such as shortness of breath to increase comfort. While research on new treatments are being pursued, mesothelioma is not yet considered curable. There are many resources for those who are diagnosed with mesothelioma to help them learn more about the disease and make informed decisions about treatment options. Depending on the nature of the exposure, some people will also choose to pursue legal actions against, for example, employers who knowingly exposed workers without providing adequate information about risks or safety equipment. Thank you for watching. This video was produced by Asbestos.Net, a leading resource on all aspects of asbestos and mesothelioma. Our priority is to inform victims about the devastating effects of asbestos exposure, mesothelioma, asbestos cancer, asbestosis, and other asbestos-related diseases, and to advise them with a wealth of information. Individuals whose lives have been touched by mesothelioma have numerous questions and concerns. Their caregivers and family members also need accurate, reliable information. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with mesothelioma or asbestos cancer and need more information, we invite you to visit and explore the thousands of pages of oncologist-reviewed material on Asbestos.net, to call our convenient toll-free number shown below and speak with a mesothelioma specialist, or to use the simple contact form found at Asbestos.net to request a free copy of our informative books, custom inserts, and DVD. Asbestos.net. Information and help for patients and families.